stuff. All right, so just for recording purposes, today we're going to do a review, but I'm also going to teach one simple concept, which is going to be lookups. I'm just going to talk about lookups and just like how to use lookups. So today was supposed to be reviewing the mobile setup and then go into dashboards and whatnot. So what we're just going to do today is just this piece here, the first two, and then we're going to save this for the next class. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to save this as a review uh, last 4 weeks. This is going to be it right here. Then make sure I save this as. So it's going to be our lesson 8. Then for the next class, um, we're definitely going to do dashboards, reports, and alerts. Then we're going to review lookups. All right. So the lesson 9. So you guys should know what's expected for next class. All right. But for this class purposes, we are going to review lesson 8, which is review the Splunk mobile setup and then dashboards we talked about in lesson 3, and then lookup command, and then we're going to review rest of the stuff we've been doing. All right, so let's go into here. So lookups, what are lookups? So lookups are basically like additional data that you get that allows you to add intelligence to your environment. So let's say, for instance, you're streaming in data into Splunk from your laptop, but your laptop doesn't have certain information, like maybe your, your session ID, not your session ID, but like a special tag ID or a unit number or your phone number or things like that, that you may not necessarily have within your logs, but you want to have those included when somebody does a search. So lookups allow you to do that. They allow you to basically grab data from anywhere and allows you to now add intelligence to that data. So for instance, if I did this, right? So I'm gonna open up another thing over here. So if I did this and I say make results, sort of going back into review, make results, and I do I take equals true, count equals let's say 10. So I run something like this. Then we're gonna say eval host equals let's not do eval, let's do string stats count by Splunk underscore server. This is just part of the review also as well, as we're getting ready to go into lookup. So my stream stats now is counting up based on the number of times it sees the value Splunk underscore server in here. So it does a count. So then after that, I'm going to do an eval now. So I'm going to evaluate, let's say, the field here, the host field. So I'm going to say if, we'll do case statement. Yeah, we'll do case statement. We'll do case since I know what all the values are. So we're going to say in the case where the count is equal to 1, it's going to be Papa's laptop. Okay, just stop there. Let's see. Oh,
Your codes.
Yeah, host. I forgot to.
No, the codes. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yep. So eval where the host equals Papa's laptop. So the host field is what we're evaluating here. We say anytime we see that the count is equals to 1, it's going to be Papa's laptop. So then we're going to say, all right, that's cool. Let's do another one then. So let's do a comma. Well, not a comma, but let's do another case statement. So the case where, I'm sorry. count is equal to 2, comma, that's going to be Sunny's laptop. Give me a second. There's a student that's texting me right now. I just want to make sure they're okay. That Ken's going to be 15 minutes. That's fine. So let me text this over there. All right. All right. So in the case where the count is equals to 2, we're going to say Sunny's laptop. So now we see that. So same thing. All right. So Sunny, if I want the count to equals to 3, what would I do here? And I want it to be Steven's laptop. How would I do it?
If you want the count to equals 3, so you would change that to 3 where you have count.
Well, I want this one to be defined. If the count is equals to 3, or in the case where this is equals to 3, I want it to be Papa's, Steven's laptop. So how would I do that?
So would you do, you will run the same command and put Steven's laptop
Yeah, tell me what I would do here.
in the search?
Yep.
So you would do, let me see. So you do count?
Okay. Would I do count right now? Would I do something before count?
You need to separate it with a comma.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean. Thank you, Papa. Yeah, the comma and then
Whoever
count,
think
count, and then the double equal
Uh-huh.
3 in quotation
Okay.
and Steven's laptop.
Like that.
Yeah.
you have to
But
close
you
the
don't
two.
have, you don't, oh yeah, the quotation. You have to, yeah.
Like that.
Hold on. Let me maximize my screen. Sure I'm seeing it right. Count. Trying to see what's the difference between the Sunny and Papa's laptop with Steven.
It's a comma.
Now there should be a space between
The
count.
quotation, no?
Yeah, the quotation
Should be a
before
comma.
Stephen. Where the cursor is, if you go back.
Yeah.
Then a comma.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Comma's missing.
Promise me.
Yep. So the reason I didn't tell you guys, because you're gonna have to diagnose searches like this. You're gonna get into an environment where they say, our search isn't working, we need you to fix it. I have a person that reached out to me today where they said, one of my first tickets I got was to fix a search that wasn't working right. So oftentimes it's not really that the logic is bad, is that there's little small, simple mistakes that doesn't make the search right. So you're gonna have to look at this really hard and just figure out. Sometimes you'll have the logic there, but other times it's just playing with it and seeing what was added and what was removed that makes the search either good or bad, or that makes the search fail. All right, so we got Steven's laptop. So then we're gonna continue on. All right, so we're gonna I think you guys get the hint now. So we're gonna do count where equals to 4. I'm gonna say this is laptop. All right. All right, so we're just gonna do that for right now. And then the source, we're gonna do an eval of the source. Okay, so it looks like first command. All right. So we're gonna eval the source. So we're gonna say so you can always do another
Au moins
eval.
fois 10. Donc, si tu as mis colon en décembre, tu es sûr d'avoir au moins même 10 colons.
All right, so we're going to do another statement here. Let's see if this works. With evals, you can do separated by commas to do like basically another sort of clause. So we'll say source equals to I don't know, Google docs.txt. And then you see now, it basically says now we're doing evaluation of source equals to Google Docs. And then we're going to combine that and say source type equals to, what do we want the source type to be? So we're trying to do lookups. So I'll call this lookup separator. Okay. Or lookup. Right. And then we're going to say Splunk underscore server group equals to, we're going to call this production. All right. So now we got everything. So productions field. Now we got host that's still not filled. So let's say we wanted to add a value for any time this is not filled up. There's another command you can use, which is fill null. And then we're going to say value equals to not applicable, something like that, right? But then you notice that it also fills up the underscore raw, because fill null basically takes place over everything that's there. But if you want to specify a field that you want to fill, then you just need to put the name of the field there, and then it only applies to that field. So if you want to fill null just the stuff that's null and void, which fill null basically says fill anything that's 0 or doesn't have a value in it, give it a value. And that's what we're going to do there. And then we can always do another fill null as well down here for the underscore raw. Right now, we're just going to keep this as this right now. So we have this. So we have Papa's laptop, Sunny's laptop, Steven's laptop, Sarah's laptop, all coming from these sources, blah, blah, and all this other stuff. So we have all this information. But let's say we wanted to grab, the phone numbers for each user. So for Papa's laptop, Sunny's laptop, Steven's laptop, or Sarah's laptop, we want to grab the phone number for these users anytime that we see this data. So what we can do then is create a lookup. So we're gonna hide this. We're gonna create a lookup here. So we're gonna say we're gonna create a lookup. So this is the lookup editor. This is gonna be one of those apps that's in 99% of your environments, you're gonna have it because it's just makes it so much easier to work with lookups. And lookups basically are just like, think about it like Excel spreadsheets. That's all they are. It's just an Excel spreadsheet that has some information on it. So we're gonna say host phone number, and then whenever you save a lookup, it needs to end in a .csv. For CSVs, it needs to be a .csv. So we have that now, and it tells you, which app do you want to save this lookup in. You can share it across to other apps, but right now, let's just say we want to put this in search and report. So the first field, we're going to call this host. And then the second field, we're going to call this phone number. Right? And these other fields we don't really care about, so we'll delete this field. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I'm going to do that. Back. Oh, darn it. Oh.
Just hit back button.
Doesn't allow you to do that. I haven't saved it though. Darn it. Probably won't let me do it. Yeah, that's the thing that sucks with at least with that piece, it sucks. But anyway, it's not too big of a deal. I didn't do too much anyway. So rename this. It's gonna be a host. And we're gonna rename this phone number. All right. Then we need to remove the column. Rows, column. There we go.
Column.
I don't know why that.
May have to do it individually.
Yeah, it used to be, but unless they did some weird. Yeah, used to be able to do it.
You still have to save the app. He skipped it.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you. So we'll save that in search and report. So we're gonna save this right now. So right now we don't have any information here. So I'm not gonna put the information in here manually, but I want to put this information into my lookup. So what I'm gonna do is output, and I just want just the actually, yeah, I just want just the host information to be there since that's the field I want. So what I'm gonna do is just fields host, because that's fields command we worked with before. So it's saying all I want is just the host field. And then I'm gonna do fields minus underscore time and then underscore raw. These two fields. I just want this field. So then now I have this. So now I want to send this stuff to this lookup because I just want the host field populated for right now. So
Sorry, quick question. The minus, I thought it was to like take something off.
yeah, we did. So if I take this away, you'll see that underscore raw and time up here. These two fields.
Oh, okay.
So I'm taking those two away because all I want is just the host field for right now, the column.
Okay.
So I run that, and then I'm going to output lookup. So this is basically saying I want to output this to a lookup file. I want to send this information right here that's on my screen, just what's on my screen, nothing else. I want to send this to a lookup file. So then I'll grab the name of the lookup file here. All right. And then let's run that. And now that's been ran. So then if we refresh this, see Star's laptop is here. But you notice one thing that's gone. What's gone?
Yeah, the other column.
Yep, the other column, phone number column. Yep. So we need to have that. So we can do one of two things. We can typically what I do, this is just the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. I would create a field in here. So I would do something like this. And I would do another field called phone score number equals basically nothing like that. And then, oops, sorry. I have something like that. Now run my search again now. So I'm gonna paste that. And then what I'm gonna do instead of fields and just host, I'm gonna fields host and phone underscore number. And just so you guys can see what that will look like before I output it. It would just be this and an empty phone number column. So I'm basically saying create a phone number field for me, but have no values in it. And then now I'm going to say output that to my lookup file. So then now if I refresh this, I have both of my fields that I want. I have both the phone number field that has no values, and then I have a field that has or a host field that has values. So let's say we put in phone numbers here. So we'll say 240-675-7657. Let's put some random numbers. Say 301-760-7696. 443-84-87-88. Okay. 670-275-276. All right. And then down here, we don't really care too much about that. So we'll just have this in here. So now we have our lookup. So if we were to run our search now, taking away like all this other jazz over here, let's just say we have this data without the phone number. So we have this information. But we say now we want to add a That lookup information that's here, the phone number, we want to be able to see whenever there's a host, we want to output the phone number that's there. So what you'll do then is say lookup. So we're going to look up um, host, the host field. It should be the same values as the host field. That's the thing with the lookup. It has to have the same values for it to match anything else. So for instance, if Papa's laptop have his phone number, has maybe an address, has a whole bunch of other things, it's only going to look for this value here. If it matches, then it's going to pull the rest of these other values. But if this doesn't match, it's not going to match anything else. So say look up host as the host field. But we need to put our lookup first. So the name of our lookup is called what? Phone number. So we're going to look up host phone number field as host field. And then we're going to output phone underscore number. So we're saying lookup. Oh, sorry. So we're saying now look up this field, this host field needs to be same values, the host field that I see here. Look up that. Then output the phone number that's inside of this lookup that we see here. Put it out if it matches. If my host field matches that host field lookup, I'll put that phone number. So let's run that. So now we see it matches exactly. So Papa's phone number comes out. Sunny's laptop has her number, Steven's laptop number, Sarah's laptop, and whatnot. So this becomes very valuable. Let's say, for instance, you have different assets, and you're going to have a lot of jobs like this where you have assets being categorized. So you may do a lookup, which is populated. Let's say you do like an LDAP lookup, or you have a CMDB, which is basically like a database of all your common objects or your common computer names, usernames, all that other information that's inside of a database that's stored now. And you need to pull all that information. So all of that can be found within a lookup. And then now, as you have different assets, you're saying, as these assets populate, I want you to tell me who these assets belong to. And that data may not necessarily be in the logs, but as long as that computer name is there, it can tell you who that device actually belongs to, the owner's email address, the owner's group number, things like that, sensitive information that you just don't want in the logs, but you want available via lookup that has permissions controlled over it. So any questions before I continue?
Earlier today, I looked at, I was trying some labs, and you have the option to upload a CSV document as a lookup document, a lookup table. Is that also something you do in real production?
You said I have what now as a lookup table?
It's a CSV document. It's a table that I followed the instructions to upload it as a lookup table.
Yeah.
And
So CSVs are essentially are the lookups. 99% of all the lookups that you'll see are going to be CSVs. You have a few which are KV stores that operate in a CSV manner, but they don't have the CSV extension on it. So they won't have this on it, but they're still going to be in a comma separated value type format.
Okay, I was just asking if that is what is done in the actual environment.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what's done. All right. Okay, cool. So let's do a index example. So for instance, let's say we wanted to look at all the indexes that are created in our environment, or even all the hosts that are reported in our environment. And then we want to be able to look up whenever a new host is added or a new index is added in our environment. We want to be able to see that. So that could be something also that you can see. So, or even, you have a list of all your users, and then a new user gets added in your environment. You may want to see that change. So lookup allows you to do just that type of thing there, where you can be able to tell the difference of when something's changed, whether it's added or removed. You'll be able to see that. So we can do an example of that. Any questions so far, though?
No.
Okay, so we're just going to do this last example of the lookup, and then we'll go into review. All right, so to find out the list of indexes we have, so we'll do REST, we'll do services, data, indexes. REST command basically is a command that touches, it's a REST API that touches the endpoints that are located in Splunk. So you can look at a whole bunch of different configurations as is. So for instance, if you run the same type of command against your server, it'll be able to show you the information for your specific server. So we're running REST now, and what we want to grab is what's called the title. So the title, for most part, is going to be the most important piece of most REST commands. Is going to give you the name of that specific thing that you're probably querying, whether it's users, whether it's like components, whether it's indexes or authentication, apps, things like that. It will give you the exact name of what you're looking for under the field called title. So what we're going to do then is going to say fields title. You see we have 89 different titles, but let's say we want to look, because this now gives you across the board where Splunk underscore server. So this checks across all your Splunk servers. So if this was in a clustered environment, it's going to look across all search heads and all indexers. I'm sorry, it's going to look across the main search head you're on and then across all indexers. Most search heads can't peer into one another, meaning that this search head can't look at the users on another search head. It only knows the users that exist on its own search head. That's all it knows. It's not able to view other users on another search head because it's not configured to be a peer. So the indexer is configured to be a peer. So that means whenever you search data, that's what they call peering. You're peering into another component to see what configurations are there. So right now we're peering into indexers. So let's see where we can find our Splunk server. So now you see if I do prod indexer, it tells us that we have audit in prod indexer, but then we also have audit in prod open path. But the Splunk underscore server that I really want has nothing to do with my search head. I want it only for my indexers. So I'm going to do Splunk underscore server equals, actually, I do want it to be prod open path because I'm not going to go on the indexer and create that index. Let's say prod dash open path US, right? So now it should only find, as you can see, only 15 indexes currently exist on my current search head right here. I only have 15 indexes that are created. I have test index, Sunny index, summary, Splunk logger, RBY prints, and whatnot. So I have this. So we're good here. So I'm going to take away the Splunk underscore server because I don't really care too much about that. I'm just going to fields title. Same thing. So now if I want to send this to lookup file, what's the command that I would run here? Anyone?
Output lookup.
Yes, sir. Output lookup. And then now the name of the lookup that you want to send it to. So we'll call this prod open path underscore indexes .csv. Remember, it has the end of the .csv. So I'll put that to that. So then if we go here, you'll notice something. So prod path indexes. Actually, no, I created it. There's another command that says create empty if the thing is not there, but it looks like it's actually able to do that with version 8. An older version wasn't able to do that, but it looks like it's actually able to do with this version. So anyway, the prod open path CSV has been created and it has all of our indexes here, right? So we have that. So now we know that all of our indexes that we have are consistent here. So now to actually look at the contents of this lookup, instead of output lookup, you're going to run a command called input lookup. And then that gives you all the values or what's inside of your lookup. So now we have 15 indexes that we can see that's within our lookup here. So imagine that we're looking at this. Now we can see that exactly in our search. So input lookup allows us to just pull it raw. This is not when we're doing like a lookup against another It's not like when we're running a search to see what's in this lookup and then output something else. We're just saying spit out everything that's within that lookup, put it on the on the output here, put it on the screen for us to view. Lookup versus input lookup are two different commands. So this, when you run this is basically doing a comparison. What's in your raw data logs here, and you're going to compare that with what's in your lookup file. And then you're going to say either, bring this to me or output this to that lookup file. So you either do one or the other. So right now, we say lookup prod open path indexes.csv, or not in prod, we say input lookup. So pull this down for us now that we see all of our indexes, now that we have it. So what we're going to do then is create a new index. So we'll go here, settings. I'll just do it on this one over here. So we'll go to indexes. Create a new index. We'll call this test2 score. Yeah, we'll just call this test2. The new index is created. So now if I go back here, and I run that REST search. If I run this REST search, you'll see it. We now have 16 versus when we run our search over here, we only have 15. So I run this again. This doesn't change. I still have 15. Whereas here, now I run my search, I have 16 indexes. So a new one has been added. So you can do a couple of things here to see the differences in here. So there's several ways that you can do this. We'll do it the lookup way initially. So right now we do our lookup and then we have 16 CSVs, right? So what we're gonna do then is, let's do this. Let's do a comparison. So we'll say, I wonder if I want to add another field. That might be easier. All right, let's do this. Let's do fields title, blah, 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 blah. I think of the best way I want to do this. All right, so let's do this. Input lookup, we got our lookup. So then let's run our search. We're gonna say, there's several ways to do this. So we're gonna say this. We're gonna run our search. We're gonna grab this search here. And we're gonna use this. This is what's called a sub search. So we're gonna do this in here. So we're gonna say in a sub search, we're gonna say join. Then we're gonna say join. Then actually, you know what I want to do? I want to make this the simplest way for you guys. So we're gonna call this we'll say so in our input lookup, we're gonna create a new field called eval current indexes. And then we're gonna call this current indexes. We're gonna say indexes status. All right. So now it's gonna look something like this. So now it says all our current indexes, these are the current ones we have. We have 15. That's what we had before. That's what we know we had before. So in a sub search, let's paste that back again. So now we're going to join our list of indexes here. I'm going to say join. Let's actually append it. All right, so append rest, blah, 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 fields title. So let's see if this works the way that we want it to work. All right, so now we have 31 statistics, right? So now you see here we have some of these index which are duplicated here. You see that over here. Some of these are duplicated. And then we also have test 2 that's here. So let's do this. Let's see if this will work for us. Let's dedupe title. And then now you see there's a index, the new one that we just added, test 2, doesn't have current because guess what? When we initially did what we did up here, we labeled all of these current indexes. So then when we appended the indexes that we newly found, it didn't notice that test 2 was an index that didn't have it. But you see this here, it has duplicates. So there's main, Linux, blah, blah, blah. What we then say is like, we want to dedupe the title field, which is the name of the index. So what that does then, it basically deduplicates this field, but it's always going to keep this status here as long as it correlates to what it's seen here initially from what we set up here. It's always going to stay the same. All we're doing is just deduplicating this field. We're not changing anything about this field. So this is always going to remain constant. So when we dedupe that, it noticed that there was never a tag of index status current to test 2. There was never that tag there. So then what we'll do then is say fill null, which is what I gave you guys earlier. And then we're going to say indexes underscore status. Status, and then we're going to say value. If I can spell value, right? Equals new index, right? So now we go down here. Now we see new index. So then you can do something as easy as search this field equals to new index, something like that. So then it's always going to show you whenever you have a new index, right? So now we have that. So let's just test this to make sure our logic is going to work when we add another index. So now we're going to do rest whatever, and then now we have 16 indexes, and we're going to output this now to our lookup. And then what the heck was the name of our lookup again? Doggone it. I'm so bad with my memory, man. Oh, there, yeah, I think that's what it is here. All right, so we add all these to our lookup now. So that's good. So if I run this search again, nothing should appear now. See, now the results disappear because that's now been added to that lookup, right? So that disappears. So that makes sense. So now let's go here now again, and let's go add a new index. So we're going to add a new index. We're going to call this test 3. Save. That's good. And we run this again. Test 3 becomes a new index that's now been found. You can do this for hosts. You can do this for source type. You can do this for source. You can do this for whatever. You can do this for new IPs. You can do this for threats. There's so many different ways. And this is just one way. There's multiple ways I could have did this. But this is just one way. But does this make sense so far?
It does, but I'm very confused. So I guess we just need to watch the video several times.
Okay. Do we want to do another example?
Yeah, maybe another example.
Okay. All right. So let's create a list of my students then. So we'll do a make results, and I'm going to save the search here because I don't want to redo that again. I want to give a different method. So we're going to just do another search. We're going to say make results. And then we're going to say, let's just do an eval. Students equals let's say sorry. So I'm sorry. Steven. Okay. Oh, let's take away that. That's one. right? So just gonna run this, and I don't want to annotate it. I just want to do make results. Just give me my students equals Steven. So now my only student right now is just Steven. So I'm gonna output this. Yeah, I'm gonna call this yeah, I'll put lookup in there. Right, list. Call the student inventory.csv. So now the only student I have is Steven. That's the only new student I have. So I know that that's my student. So if I wanted to look at what's within the content of my lookup, how would I do that?
Input lookup.
Yes, sir. Nice. Input lookup. So now I see the only students that I have right now is just Steven. Steven's the only student I have. There's an underscore time field there, blah, blah. We don't really care about that. So I'm actually gonna take away that underscore time field. I don't like that. So I'm gonna do a fields. Spell minus underscore time. And then I'm going to replace that. So now if I do my, like you said, input lookup, this is gonna be my student. Only person I have in my class right now is Steve. Steve's the only one dedicated to running Splunk. He wants to be a Splunk guru. So he says, hey, I'm gonna join Sar's class and learn how to search in Splunk. So that's my only student. So, okay, we're good. So that's within my list, right? So then let's say I do this and I say, okay, I want to add another student. And then I want to check if that student's in my database. So what I'm going to do then is say eval, same concept I did over here. We're just going to grab this piece over here. So instead of index of status, I'm just going to do this copy and paste so that we can see what we do step by step. So eval, we're going to say student status. It's going to be that. So not current indexes, current students. Should make more sense. All right. So far, does this make sense? Any questions about this right now? And we can do it separate. We don't need to have this in a. Any questions, or is there anything that needs to be explained? Let me know now if this part I need to go over this part at all. You know, this is fine. All right, cool. So input lookup, we know our students, and then we just created a new field called student status, and our value for that field is going to be current students. That's what we say this is going to be our value. So that's what we want. All right, so now we have that. So then we run a search, or we do something else. Yeah, we run a search, and then our search is going to say, all right, eval make results, and going to do another student. So we're going to say eval students equals instead of just Steven, we're going to say students equals to I don't know, let's say Sunny, right? So this is going to be an append. So we're going to basically append this. So with append, when you do that, or any other search that needs to run a generating command, which is what make results, it's a generating command, you're going to have to do a bracket inside to signify that this is a sub search. So sub search runs before the original search, and I'll go more in depth when we go into sub search, but just know that whenever you want to run multiple searches on the same field on events, you need to do an append. You need, well, not an append, I'm sorry, you need to do a sub search to be able to grab multiple different searches within a field, or union, or one of the other ones, but sub search for the most part is what I want you guys to know right now. So we run this now. So it says make results eval students equals Sunny. So we run this, right? So you see there's a new student here, there's a time field here, and then we also have a blanket of like a current student. We don't really care about the time field, so same thing. So fields minus underscore time. So what we get is this now. So we have students. We also have Steven and Sunny. So then we can also do something like this, fill null. Same thing we did here now with fill null. In this case, we're going to fill null the student status field. And then we're going to say the value of it. If it's empty, call it new student. All right, so now we know Sunny's a new student that we've got. Sweet. So we got a new student and name is Sunny, and we just now found out about her. So then just do a quick, easy search that says search student underscore status equals new student. And then now we know our new student is Sunny. Okay. Any questions about that? Should I go over that one more time?
Nice. Just a quick
No,
question.
it's fine. Well, sorry.
Sorry, we had a append and you had the parentheses.
Yep. The little brackets. Yep.
Yeah. So no, never mind. I got my answer now because I see the command, the new thing started inside the parentheses. Then the other one started outside the parentheses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah. So once we so he's saying once we close this here, then that's when we run another command. So this search, so the way that order of operations will work is this search will run first in the sub search, and then it'll go back and run this one. And then after it runs this, then it starts running the rest of these other strings or searches after that. So that's the way it works. So you'll get that in an exam question. You know, which searches run first, your base search or your sub search. There's a limitation of how much events you can do with the sub search. There's a limitation. I think there's like 10,000 records or something, but I think you can increase that. But I know there's also still a limit. There's a hard limit though that can be set on that.
And you said the question will be, sorry, what again? Could be what again?
They'll ask you what's the difference, not difference, but what's the order of operations? Which search runs first? Is going to be a sub search, which is this, or is going to be like your base search, or your starting search, whatever runs first before this.
Okay. Appreciate it.
So any sub search typically goes or starts before. Now you can have a sub search within a sub search within a sub search, which can be crazy, but yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, all right. So does everybody get this? Do I need to go over this again? Does it make sense?
Looks good.
Cool. So now we know that we got a new student, Sunny. So now we're going to output this now to the lookup. So if you don't specify anything, what this does, then it would replace the values that's in our lookup. So we said we don't want to replace that. We just want to append it. So then you do a clause here that says append equals true. And you run that. What the? Field match. What do you mean? That's weird. Tell me that none of the fields match. Oh, sorry. What's the name of it? Oh, I'm appending to the wrong lookup. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. It's called student inventory. Of course, there's a match. Sorry. Sure. Sorry about that, guys. Splunk, you're right. I was a dummy. All right. So now we got that. So then if we wanted to look at that to make sure that that stuff has been updated, we'll just run this. Now we see, oh shoot, it's just the students in there. I forgot. Ooh, okay, okay. Well, this can work too. It doesn't tell us whether it's like a new student or not. But what I would do in this case, in the old search, what I would do in this case would set this up to be an alert. So then I would save this as an alert whenever you see a new student. And then this would append to your lookup file. So then you know that you have a new student that was reported based on whatever time. But then you can always still search your student inventory. And then now you'll see that, this has been a student's been added, but you got your alert or report or whatever it is that tells you when a new student is there. But you can also output that field that tells you new student versus current student. The only thing is you're gonna have to, either manually change that or figure out, some type of other code to be able to fix that. So there's ways to do that too. All right, any questions? Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's do some review now. All right, so oh, does somebody want to say something? All right, cool. So let's do review. If I wanted to add a new add-on to Splunk and I don't want to go directly to Splunk base, how would I do it? A new add-on or new app, how do I do it? Matter of fact, let me have Ken, are you able to share your screen?
I should be able to. Let me see.
Let me make a host quickly. Whew, I was so scared. I thought I wasn't recording. Oh man, that scared my life. Thank God. Recording. Okay. All right. Yeah, whenever you get a chance, feel free to share. And we're gonna walk Ken through, or he's gonna walk us through whichever one gonna help him to answer some recap questions. So glad tomorrow's Friday.
Sorry, just logging in right now. Let's see.
I'll say again.
I'm logging into. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So Ken or anyone in the class, this is just a review. If I wanted to add a new app or add-on and I don't want to go to www.splunkbase.com, how would I do it?
I need some help here. Let's see.
Anyone?
You go to apps, like click on the
Yeah.
apps.
Go to apps and manage apps.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought it was search we're doing. Sorry, we're thinking this.
At the bottom, manage apps, right there.
Manage apps. Okay. Completely. Let's see. Is it on the mobile apps or?
No.
What was the question again? Well,
If I want to add a new app, like I want to download a new app to my Splunk search ad or to whatever component, how would I do that without going to Splunk base? How would I do that from here?
Install app from file.
You can do that, but let's say you don't have the file, but you want to download it directly from Splunk base.
Is it, we create app or
Yep.
shall that be?
So I'll give you guys a hint. It's the only green button on the screen.
Oh, browse more apps.
So this links directly to Splunk base. So instead of having
Yes, I was going to say that.
so you can download apps in here and then you can type in, let's say you type in Cisco there, Ken. Yep, or type in ServiceNow or Jira or something like that. It links directly to Splunk base. Now, not all apps are there, but there's a majority of them are there. So instead of you having to go directly to Splunk base, you can just go here and you can add apps. Now, in a distributed, if that means you have multiple different search heads which are connected, you don't download it on one app just this way. That's not the way you do it. You have to push it from another component called the deployer, which we'll talk about later. But for the most part, just want you to know that you can actually download the apps from here as well. And then you can, check if the app is available and look at it and whatnot. But yeah, this is one way you can always do it. If you're in a standalone box, you can just download it directly here if you don't use like a deployment server or whatever to manage that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's say I wanted to check all the users in my environment. How would I do that?
Check all the users.
That are on this Splunk instance. How would I do that?
So you go to settings and users.
Awesome. So now we know we have 20 users in our environment. Okay. What's the difference between SAML and LDAP?
SAML is token based. LDAP is password directory.
So yeah,
Saying that right? Active directory. Sorry.
Active directory. Yep. There you go. Yep. So
yeah, so LDAP is to reaches out the Active Directory to verify the user's credentials and map it to the database to authenticate the user. But I think Samuel has to deal with how do you even call it? The provider, something. And using the token like Sonny said.
yep, the service provider and the identity provider. So that's to deal with both to be able to figure out, who's providing identity and then who's a service account that's going to be providing the service for the user. So yes, you guys are on it. Good. What are the different types of authentication methods in Splunk that you can use to authenticate to get into Splunk? We talked about two already, SAML, LDAP. What's another way? It's on your test.
Multi-factor. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Splunk local
Yep, Splunk
authentication.
Yep, it's a local account login. Yep. Perfect. So how do you go find out where that's at?
Can you repeat that, please?
How do you find out where that's at when you want to look at the different authentication methods?
So you go to settings.
Authentication methods. Yep. So here's
users and authentication. You go authentication methods.
Yep. Right there. Yep. So you have LDAP, you have local, you have SAML. They used to be scripted input, but that's no longer possible. So you can also do LDAP with one of these other methods, RSA or Duo or something like that, or you can do local with a RSA token or a Duo MFA as well. So there's other ways to do super security on your local instance. And maybe mid-class, I'll try to get us signed up for Duo so you can kind of see how Duo works with MFA. All right, good. How do we look at all the current jobs that are running in Splunk?
You said how to look at all the current
All the
jobs.
jobs.
Jobs, yeah, the searches and stuff that are running right now.
You go to activity and jobs or something like that.
Yep. Perfect. All right. What are the different filter options that you can look at on status?
Different filter options.
Yep. So you can look at whether it's queued, whether it's running, whether it's stopped, backgrounded, paused. So these questions are on your exam as well. So that's why I'm asking these. So this is kind of
All of these items, pretty much.
just kind of getting a general understanding of what you'll find here. So, all right. So now we know our activities. So where do I go if I want to see all my triggered alerts?
And activity and triggered alerts.
Sir. All right. So then in here, one thing to always filter on is you see where it says app equals home launcher. Anywhere you go in Splunk, wherever there's the app context, always move it to all, just in case you want to get a full view of everything that's been fired off. And then you see your owner says you, so maybe you want to move that to all as well. And see if anything is fired off by any chance. But we don't have anything that's fired off. But if an alert fired off within the last, however long, it would show up here as far as a recent alert.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. If I wanted to change my user's time zone or know what time zone that I'm looking at the logs in, how would I do that?
Should be under settings, right?
Yes. So you go to the users and then is it the properties or the settings? That is where you'll be able to, you'll do the edit, and under action there's edit.
So go to users and authentication. Oh, sorry.
You click on the user's name, and do the edit from the from that window.
Yeah. You change the time zone on the edit user.
Yeah.
All right, let's go try to change Sunny's time zone.
Okay. So which one is Sunny? Is this Sunny? R Kamar 95?
No, that's not me.
Oh, sorry.
You can also search for Sunny under filter.
Yep. What would you want to change the time zone to?
We can leave it the same. I just wanted to see how
Okay.
for you to be able to look at how to change it if you needed to change it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. What's another way to get to this screen for your individual user? You don't have to go to users. Just for your individual. Yep.
Preferences.
And now you can change it for your own preference. Cool. All right, so go to the search dashboard, go to any search tab. All right. So you see how you click Splunk Enterprise, right? Go click it again. And then you see it takes you to launcher. So if you look at the top of the URL, it says US App Launcher Home, right? So look at the URL. Yep.
Yep.
So go to your preferences and then change your preferences to your search app to be your default application. Make that search and reporting at the top there. Right. Then click the Splunk Enterprise tab at the top again. And now you see at the top the URL changes, but then where you also land when you click that now is here. So this is how you change a user context for any default. So whenever a user logs in, sometimes you want them to log in straight to a dashboard. Sometimes you want to log in straight to a report or straight to a, an alert or straight to whatever it may be. There's ways to set that in Splunk. And by default at the top there, you have to set it based on an app context. And then within the app context, you can set a default screen to be whatever view you want it to be. But we'll talk more about that as we get towards customizing like apps and stuff. Any questions on that piece? Time is it? 46. Okay, cool. Perfect time. Okay. Let's say I want to create an alert that fires off every 3 minutes. How would I do that? An alert that says, anytime you see logs that are reporting for Ken's laptop, how would I do an alert like that? What's a search that I can run to find that? And we want the alert to find any events within the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so.
Here's the search here. For
So what search would you run?
So do you have to use a query for that?
Say again?
you have to use the pipe or
You could use
I was
whatever.
thinking you would just go to settings, alerts, and then do some GUI stuff. Yeah.
okay. Okay, I thought you want to do it like a search.
You see
Sorry.
under knowledge, the first thing under knowledge, the top, yeah.
Searches, reports, and alerts.
Excuse me. New
Sorry.
alert.
Well, right? No?
Which one?
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
That one, yeah. Okay, that is, yeah, something like that. Then you do whatever you want to do here. So give it a title, whatever you want to call it.
So, sorry, you said what was the alert request again?
Whenever Ken's laptop sends logs, we want to alert.
That one, I don't know what to put there.
For the search, do we
Search.
Choose that maybe?
But that's where you would put the search that you need to do. Can we do in this case, we can do either T-stats or metadata?
Like look up the host.
just do a T-stat?
I think you have to do a lookup.
Like a lookup action or just a lookup?
Um, I think I'm wrong, but I think you have to do an actual search, not in here first.
Also go back to
I don't know, maybe I think it's where he just taught us. We do outlook lookup first, then you do an input lookup.
Oh no.
No, it's not. Oh,
Yeah, so we just want to do a regular search. So you could have did it from here as well, but I would recommend doing it from the search box where you find the
search
events
box.
you want. Yeah, so run a search, find the events you want, or find or run a search that basically gives you what you're looking for, whether it returns results or not, and then save that as an alert. So if you're looking for logs coming from Ken's laptop, what are two of the fastest ways to do that?
use the metadata.
Okay.
Metadata. It's like a metadata search, meta search, or just a metadata command.
The metadata command.
Is that followed by a lookup?
Maybe type
Host. You have to look
type
your
host.
name and then look for your host.
Index.
Sorry, I didn't get that last part.
I think you do index, and then you equal to a wildcard because let's say you don't know the
We're looking
index.
for his report that are coming from your laptop, right?
Yeah.
So we do know the host that we're looking for, which is his host.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it would be like,
do the metadata index equals, we know the index, right? Or we don't know the index.
We don't know the index.
We don't know the index, but
Okay,
we
so
know the
then
host.
keep that as asterisk, but then do types equals host.
index equals, so leave the indexes star.
Yes.
Yep.
Do enter, let's see. And then, or you should be hosts. Okay, you did hosts. That's correct. So search it. Let's see. Maybe 30 days.
Well, what's the criteria we're looking for, guys?
So looking for this. So I'll just have the host name. I can plug that in.
Well, the original question was we want to find out whenever Ken's laptop sends logs within a 15-minute time frame that's recent. So
because we have to do host equals the name of your laptop, isn't it?
yep.
Yeah.
So how would we do that at the end of this? So this first part's okay, but how would you restrict it to
Give
only
a space and put host equal to.
Or do a bang like the pipe over there.
So okay, so we're doing index
Do a
space.
pipe. I would do a pipe over there. Host equals to the name of your laptop.
Should we have another field for the last 15 minutes?
No, just run it.
Underscore time if you like. Over there.
Run this and see if it works. Okay, yeah, underscore time.
Underscore time equals 15 minutes, or
No, just underscore time.
No, don't put it.
oh, okay. Let's see.
Let's see if this works.
Host.
Move the host a little bit. Yeah, that's correct. Move it. from the pipe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So should it be in parentheses?
It's fine.
What's the error saying?
It's saying unknown command host.
So what is it looking for?
The host name.
No. What is it looking for? What does the error say?
It's looking for it is not. It's looking for the right command, really.
Yep.
It's
so-
host, type host. I think that's where the problem is. There's no such thing as a,
Yep. So
Type
host is not a
It
command.
could be where host equals whatever.
Host is
Where
Okay.
where host equals. Should this be in parentheses or is it fine as? I mean,
so the
not-
where has not changed. I don't know. For me, when I'm running a search, right? The where is a, what is that called again, sir? It's for me to be able to like, because you know, if you're doing it the right way, the color would have changed.
Yeah, SPL.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means you.
So
have
I guess
done
you
it
don't
right.
I guess you don't put a pipe after the host, but host equals
Here we go.
yeah.
Run where command where host name.
Whereby,
How about if you just take away the where, take away the pipe and the where?
Then it wouldn't recognize the where command. Okay.
So let's do this.
And
So do
then
pipe.
like source type or something.
Yeah, let's do this. So instead of doing pipe where, always try to use search instead of where. So pipe search. So whenever you're running another command or you're looking for something else, search is a Splunk command. It needs to turn blue. So whether you're looking for a field value equals whatever, you need to use a pipe search after it. So if you run a generating command, meaning that you're running something that's not like index equals blah, blah initially,
Right.
the second search or third search or fourth search or whatever it is, you can't just do host equals blah or underscore time. It needs to be paired with something. It needs to be a Splunk command. So it's telling you I'm looking for a command that I recognize. I'm looking for a Splunk command that I recognize.
Yeah.
So you can take out the underscore time
Time.
because that, we don't need time, right? Because we're looking for the last 15 minutes. And the last
Yeah.
15 minutes are already specified in a time range picker. So you don't need to include the time there again because it's always going to look for this last 15 minutes as long as you have that selected there. So run this now. And now you have your stuff. So the last 15 minutes, Ken's laptop sent 1,300 or 15,445 events. So change that to, let's say, last 30 seconds. Nope, that's real time. That's relative. So anytime you see real time under there, try not to run a real time search. That's always continuous. So if you click
Okay.
it never ends. It just keeps running. All right, so go to relative.
Relative today.
Let's have at the bottom.
Oh,
And then do 30 seconds. All right, then apply. So last time you had 15,000 events. Now you have 13,000 events. So within the last 30 seconds or so, you sent 13,000 events. So if we wanted to save this now as an alert, so save as. And then now you can rename whatever you want. You already got your search string, you got your search logic. So now it's finding anytime Ken's laptop sends in it's logging something. Now it sees that. So we can stop here. You can save this as an alert if you want. This will run. You got to, on an alert also, you need to enable at least one action. So at the bottom there, you can add an action, whether you want it to email you, whether you want it to log it to an index, or whether you want it to do something with AWS or whatever it is, you can do something there.
okay.
So yeah, you can cancel this, but that's how you would create an alert. We'll go through alerts and dashboards on Monday, more in depth, as well as reports. But this is just kind of a recap. Let me see. What's another one last question I have for you guys? Let's see. What's the difference between a universal forwarder and a heavy forwarder?
Uh,
I think heavy forwarder is when you want to
Heavy forwarder is the full instance. It also parse the data, whereas universal forwarder does not.
Okay. And what are the differences that a full instance can do and a non-full instance can do?
what's the question?
So the difference between a UF and a HF. So Sunny says one is a full instance of Splunk, one is not. So what's the difference there?
mhm.
I mean, I know you use a heavy forwarder, like if you want to replicate the data. Like for example, if you have one in India and one in the US, and you want that data to go across so that when it searches in India, they don't have to search come all the way across. I don't know if that makes sense.
So you're saying basically to split the data between different regions or something, right?
Right.
So, and the heavy, I think I'm always confusing the two. So the universal forwarder, I mean, as I was saying that it's like more for like a smaller, it doesn't have the full instance. And also I think, well, not I think, it doesn't have the front end, the GUI, as opposed to the heavy forwarder.
Yep. That's a big difference there. So UF doesn't have a GUI. HF has a GUI.
So HF says our HF heavy forward is used more for enterprise applications, and UF we use for more for like local instances.
No, so you can use either for enterprise or a local instance. You can use either. It's just that a HF allows you to do a lot more because it has the full Python libraries and it's the full instance of Splunk.
Okay.
So you can, the HF is basically like a search head that allows you to configure stuff on the front end. Whereas a UF, you can't really configure stuff on the front end. And with the HF, you can do so much more in terms of like API pulls and things like that. There's a lot of different things that you can do there that you can do with the HF versus the UF.
Oh, okay.
So, sir, basically, it's Splunk Enterprise that is used as an HF, but configured to be an HF.
What kind of process use that? Yes, yep.
Okay.
So basically, Papa is just saying that the same view that you guys are looking at, the same node right here that's we're using as a search head, can also be an HF. The only thing is people don't search on the HF. All the HF does is basically acts as a forwarding agent to the indexers. There's just an intermediary. So what you're seeing here is basically what the HF will look like. That's all it is. The only difference is you don't search on this instance. Now everything so think about your instance, your local instance is now basically an HF because you don't search your logs locally on your instance. You basically are sending everything to prod openpath US. Now that's a search head. But if it was vice versa, if prod was sending you to your local instance now becomes the search head, and then prod openpath becomes the HF. So does that make sense?
Yes. Because do you know something funny? I spent a lot of time looking for a heavy forwarder to install because I was able to download the
US?
forwarders,
Huh?
the universal forwarders. I thought there was something like a heavy forwarder until I got to know that it's the same thing, but it depends on how you configure it.
Yep. Yep. That's I mean, it's one of those things where, now you know the difference in a sense, but yeah, if you try to go to Splunk.com and look for heavy forward, you'll never find it. If you go to Splunk.com, try to look for a search head, you'll never find it. If you go to Splunk.com, look for indexer, you'll never find it. What you'll find is Splunk Enterprise, which can be configured to be any of the full instances of Splunk, which is a search head, an indexer, a deployment server, license master. It can be almost anything except a universal forwarder. That's what it can't be. But it can be any other component that you configure it to be. So that's the same package you use. So you'll download it if you need, 4 different instances of a Splunk, whether you need a search head, 2 indexers, or whatever it is. You download Splunk Enterprise anyway. The only thing that changes is how you configure it to be as far as a component. That's the only thing that changes there. All right, cool. Well, that is it for today. I think this was a decent recap. I'm gonna try to do another recap another 4 weeks or so from now. But I think right now this was a decent recap. Um, Play with the lookup command. You're gonna use that in every environment you go to. Every single environment you go to, you're gonna use the lookup command, similar to how you're gonna use eval. Play with those commands. Play with them often. Play with general scenarios. Like, let's say I wanted to, see the different hosts in my environment, different indexes, different users, different whatever. Play with it, and then see kind of like how that works. You'll use it very often, and you'll get questions about it very often. So, with that being said, I'm going to end the class now, and hope you guys continue to practice. I'm really proud of those of you who have been able to meet and be dedicated to this. Continue to that, and you'll be rewarded with good knowledge and Splunk, and hopefully by the end of this course, with a job for those of you who decide you want to get ready for that.